Grrr, ah. Turtleneck gang, what the fuck going on? If you're new to the channel, hit that like and sub button for the one time. Don't be no hating ass nigga like the rest of them. But yo, Turtleneck gang, we got a goodie tonight. Tonight we reacting to the Superman who dissolved 500 victim bodies. The Superman who dissolved 500 victims from the cartel. The Superman. Just when you thought he was cooking soup, he had other things in mind, Turtleneck game. This nigga had other things in mind, Turtleneck game. Y'all thought he was cooking soup for the people? No, scratch that. He was cooking up cartel members. The nigga was doing dirty deeds, Turtleneck game. We gonna get straight into it. We ain't gonna waste no time. He's a clown cake. Look at his face. You could tell off rip he meant to do everything. He had bad intentions from the jump. Look at his face. This is a man that is dead ass serious. This is a man you don't make eye contact with on the street. This is a nigga that will hurt you and then go grocery shopping right after. Turtleneck game. We gonna get into it. Soup man.
Throughout his decade with two cartels, El Pozolero, or the Soup Man, dissolved up to 1,000 bodies in vats of acid. Breaking Bad is nothing compared to real life. When he was finally arrested, a horrible stench filled his room. He told the police officers he was making seafood soup. Yeah, that wasn't seafood soup. So,
no damn seafood. Yo, I like seafood. And although I haven't had seafood inside of no soup, I know for a fact no seafood soup smell like no damn dead bodies, bro. And then not one body, we talking about multiple. Come on, bro. We talking about cartel members. These motherfuckers is like, alright, the G-Force. Like a gang of hamsters, you heard?
Eating any kind of soup as you watch this outrageous video and delve into the story of Santiago Meza, aka...
Then he got the lazy eye, he got the shack eye, his shit leaning. His shit like this. His shit like catch me when you can. He like, baby, do you see me? Look at him. This shit lean.
Movies often show the glamorous side of cartels, the money, power, and status that only the top of the pyramid gets to live in. But behind the scenes, few things are as dark, brutal, and downright gruesome as cartels disposing of their enemies' bodies. Santiago Meza Lopez had a modest background. He was a poor farmer's boy and liked animals. In fact, it was his love of animals that brought him to the cartels. That and a desperate need for cash. Santiago started working with the Ariane Felix cartel in 1996. He tended to their horses and did their masonry work. It was honest work that simply paid better compared to anything he could do on his farm. But you know how cartels promise you endless riches for just a little bit of dirty work? That's always the hook. Make a threat or carry out a sketchy drug deal. Within months, you'll be rich. Sadly, Santiago fell into this trap, and before long, he was conducting narcotics deals for Ariano Felix. First, he was their dealer. Then, he was their drug office keeper. He was disciplined and dedicated, and Felix encouraged this by promoting him as he surveilled.
Alright, so Turtleneck gang, it sounds like every hood movie, you feel me? In the beginning, you know, start off with an honest living. Then you meet the plug, nigga give you an opportunity. Promise you, you know your loyalty if you do a little favor for him. That favor turn into a couple more deeds. About to see what the fuck happens.
Around Tijuana toward the end of the century, the Arellano cartel started a bloody war with the notorious Sinaloa cartel. Both cartels wanted control over the same trafficking routes into the U.S., but there's nothing simple about cartel fights. Constant attacks, kidnappings, and assassinations were terrorizing Mexico. A staggering 24,000 people lost their lives during just a few short years. But what do you do with all the bodies if you're a cartel boss and you don't want the police on your tail? In a really creepy twist, the thousands of victims opened up a job opportunity for Santiago. In the late 1990s, the Ariano Felix brothers, Ramon and Benjamin, invited Santiago to a secluded spot. They asked him to do a little experiment with them. They handed him a leg of beef and asked him to toss the leg into a container. The vat was filled with caustic soda, also known as lye, mixed with water and some other chemicals. They left Santiago with the container and told him to watch over the beef while they took care of other business.
That ain't no damn beef. Turn that down. We might not have the IQ of Isaac Newton, but we know for a fact off rip, this is a sketchy situation. That ain't no damn beef. You think a nigga like this, with the Mario mustache, walking around with just beef in a bag, with 4 other niggas with him? Hell to the nah.
Santiago would confirm their experiment worked out the way they had intended it to. The leg of beef was completely dissolved, only coloring the liquid inside to the container a crimson red. It was gross, but it was nothing compared to what was about to happen. 6 months later, the Ariano Felix brothers revealed to Santiago what the experiment was about. He was going to carry out their dirtiest work, dissolve their enemies into vats of lye. The brothers had asked for advice from foreign cartel members about disposing of corpses. They were in over their heads, quite literally, in war victims, and simply dumping them in shady spots wasn't working anymore. The police were on the lookout for any cartel mistake, so they could arrest the Tijuana cartel bosses at the end of the war. Now, Ramon and Benjamin had Santiago dissolve his first human body. Several henchmen were watching. If this worked, this would be their future method for all
Off rip, look, they fucking up, dropping shit. But I get it. We're gonna give them the benefit of that doubt, turtleneck game. First time dissolving a body, I'd be scared too.
Santiago undressed the body and stuffed it into a large drum, filled with the same mixture as before, except this time there were 200 liters of it. The drum's burner was lit up, and the mixture started to froth. Santiago left it overnight to cook. When he returned to the vat in the morning, there was no body inside, just a red sludge and some tiny bone fragments decorating the bottom of the container. El Pozolero was born. Before you ask, no, Pozolero doesn't literally mean soup man. It comes from pozole, a traditional Mexican soup made with corn and meat. I know, El Pozolero ruined the dish forever.
Yeah, he did. Cause I'm an open-minded person, I was willing to try that, but after knowing like where he get the name from, I'm good on that. Baby, I'm good on that. Baby, I'm good on that.
After El Pozolero notified the Ariano Felix brothers of their successful experiment, they called in their truck driver. He took the container and drove it to a nearby canyon in the dead of night. He tossed the remains in there and carried the container back to the cartel headquarters. This would be the Tijuana cartel's preferred method of dealing with their bodies, and Santiago became their chief cleaner. El Pozolero was in charge of everything, buying oil containers, caustic soda, latex gloves, and gas masks. Everything about this job was simply horrifying, and El Pozolero seemed to be completely desensitized to it. Maybe he was even getting a kick out of it. Now he was working directly under drug lord Teodoro Garcia Cimental.
Check him out. That baby beard. Look at this nigga. He like, fuck. That's a nigga that look like he know he can't do prison time. Like, look at him. He like, damn it. He's tight.
El Teo. He would send El Pozolero a text message with a location every time he had a new body that he needed to get rid of. El Pozolero would arrive at the specific location, but it wouldn't be a simple exchange. A cohort of cars would pull up, and he would be called to find out which car the body was in. Then, 2 henchmen would help Pozolero carry the body into his vehicle, and he would drive off to his lab. There he would take care of the body. Sometimes it would be several bodies simultaneously. When he was done, he would take the bone remains and throw them into huge underground pits. By now, El Pozolero had his own graveyard, and business was booming, in the worst sense of the word. But as always, nothing lasts forever.
These niggas got real life bodies in the ground, like they put a nigga in the dirt to a different level.
And headstrong man. This caused several hiccups between him and the Ariano Felix brothers. In 2008, it all came to a boiling point. El Teo decided to switch sides and join the biggest rival cartel around, El Chapo and El Mayo's Sinaloa. And since El Pozolero was his man, he took him with him. This is how El Pozolero became the Sinaloa cartel's chief body disposer too. This is creepy on so many levels. He was dissolving the bodies of his former colleagues, but he didn't seem to care. El Pozzolero made $600 a week. In his time and place, this was excellent money. He could afford almost anything he wanted, and he had achieved a disturbing kind of stardom in the cartel world. But his gruesome work stint with the Sinaloa cartel would come to a swift end in less than a year. In January 2009, Mexican authorities tracked him down after an anonymous tip pointed them in his direction. When the officers barged in, he was stirring something smelling horrible. He was dead drunk and slurring his words. When the officers asked him about his concoction, he claimed it was seafood soup. You can only imagine what it really was.
Nah, that wasn't no damn.
After his arrest, however, El Pozzolero decided to confess. He told the detectives he had dissolved around 300 bodies, but it's believed the actual number is over 1,000. The case made the headlines throughout Mexico. El Pozzolero was pictured as a macabre soup master who had done the cartel's bidding for over a decade. No questions asked. El Pozzolero's wife commented to the media.
It seemed like they didn't even know what it was.
I prefer my job than for my family to die of hunger.
Was there really no alternative to the soup man job? With Santiago in prison, the police went on to discover his gruesome burial site, called the Chicken Coop. 250 kilos, or 500 pounds, of bones and bone remains were extracted by 2017. The creepy catch was that the chicken coop really was used to raise chickens too. It was a little farm along the free highway to Tecate, and it worked as a perfect match for the El Pozzolero's horrible affairs. But only 70 of El Pozzolero's many bodies were dissolved at the chicken coop. 16,500 liters of human matter had been extracted from all over Tijuana. Human sludge had been poured out from the containers in every empty lot and wooded area. Imagine all the remains that still haven't been found. All the victims that will forever remain nameless, thanks to the cartel's gruesome disposal method. What's worse, El Pozzolero taught others how to dissolve bodies. He even installed a drainage system during his last years on the job, making the process cleaner and easier for his disciples. He spoke about this with the investigators.
It was the devil to move them. They weighed a lot. After everything was cleaned up, we stored the barrels. We also washed the drain with hot water because the remains stuck to the pipes.
He spoke about it like it was just another job, complaining about all the physical work. When the officers asked him if he had any remorse for what he did, he said of course.
Nigga got remorse because he got caught. Bitch ass nigga.
He even told the cartel he didn't want to do the job anymore. But you can't really say no to cartel bosses. El Pozzolero also insisted that he
Bro, let's be real for a second, turning that game. Even if this is your first time doing some shit like this, right? Getting a job like this, first time trying some shit like this. First day on the job, period, turning that game. Any person with a brain would know that, like, when it comes to shit like a cartel, you're not going to just do a couple bodies and say, hey, I would like to resign and put my 2 weeks in. I don't no longer want to work here anymore. And they go, all right, good luck to whatever you got going on. Knowing like, yeah, thanks for helping us get rid of all the bodies you did. Like, we appreciate your work, man. Enjoy your life. Take care of your family. Like, hey, bro, what the? Come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, take 1 second and just use your brain and just think, bro. Like, come on, bro. I know it's not going like that. I know damn sure you know it's not going like that. Turtleneck game, I know y'all know it would never go like that. They bugging. These niggas is bugging.
Victims, and that he never dissolved the bodies of women and children. In 2012, he was convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison. During his trial, he said that he was not a dealer, a killer.
What? Nah, scratch that. Over 1,000 bodies, bro? And a nigga only get 10 years? Turn that game. I'm fucking baffled. I'm confused. All those bodies in only 10 years? Turn that game. No wonder he's smirking in this fucking picture. He know he coming home. That's crazy.
He was just a man doing his job for a cartel that wouldn't take no for an answer. In his last statement, he asked God for forgiveness and apologized to all his victims' families.
Niggas
But
always
El
want to ask
Pozueto
for
never
God for
revealed the
forgiveness when they
location
fuck
of
up.
all the other remains, so the victims' families were not pleased with his apology. They said it can't be genuine if he was not willing to help the police. Furthermore, many of these families were outraged when El Pozueto was released from prison in April 2022. In their opinion, it doesn't matter that he did not kill his victims. He dissolved 1,000 bodies. His sentence should be much harsher than 10 years. But if we consider that El Pozueto...
Told them. You only got 10 years. And that's when to go back to that cartel shit. Niggas just probably paying out the police. Yo, y'all niggas gotta stay out the way, man. Police like, alright, cool.
The cartel, he would probably die if he told the police about the burial sites. However, this is not an excuse for all the atrocities he committed under their instruction. He took the job in the first place. To this day, the Mexican police are still retrieving bone remains in the Tijuana area. It's hard to even imagine the scale of the cartel's wars, the victims, and El Pozoleto's body disposal industry. And who knows how many people are still doing what he did in 2009. Was El Pozueto an evil criminal, insensitive to pain and suffering? Or was he a simple person, caught at the wrong place at the wrong time, in a web of cartel?
A simple person, a crazy person. We all born with this. It's all about how you use it, bro. Unless you genetically fucked up, bro. In his case, he knew exactly what he was doing. He played a stupid ass game and won a stupid prize, but his prize wasn't as bad as everybody else's. Nigga only got 10 years for over 1,000 bodies, bro. Why don't all criminals just move where he lives? Every criminal in the world just go over there. Come on, bro. Y'all could have a field day. Y'all could just go take each other out. Yeah, like, come on, bro. Keep the world safe.
And intimidation. And if so, could he have ever gotten out were it not for his arrest?
Turtleneck gang. That was crazy. He's bugging. All them goddamn bodies. I only got 10 years. Bro only got a 10-piece chicken dinner. That's it for all them bodies. And let the police know I'm not snitching. I tell you, I'm basically dead. Fuck, I care about 10 years for. I'm not telling y'all nothing. You think I'm gonna do this? You think I'm gonna tell y'all and then come home and what? Go back to work? Nigga, I'm good as dead. I might die in jail. He's smart on that part, but y'all comment below and let me know what y'all would have done. That nigga is bugging. Turtleneck gang. Stay away from these NPCs. Practice good hygiene. Love always. We out. See you on the next one.